Hi everyone, thank you for watching. So I'm going to be telling you a story about a curvy teacher that I had. So it all started in English. It's my English class. So I had two English teachers, and then we had like a student teacher come in. He was like a student teacher, but he wasn't like really a student teacher. He was like 35, like he was old, pretty old. He wasn't like the normally it's like you're in their 20s or like whatever, and no, he wasn't. He was like 35, maybe 40, I don't know. And let me just start off by saying I have like nothing against, like, I'm not trying to be mean at all, but he had the worst skin ever, like super hormonal or something. He had acne everywhere on every single part of his face. Like, he was a very scary person. He just looked really creepy. He was just creepy. So every day he would come into our English class, and he would, first of all, he had a teapot, like a really weird teapot. Like, he literally brought a teapot to school, like the big, and we'd be like doing our free writing, and he'd grab his teapot and he'd like fill it up, and then like 5 minutes later he kept going back and filling up the teacup, but there was like nothing was like, he hadn't even drank out of his cup. He just kept going back there and filling up the teacup. He was like the weirdest teacher I ever met in my whole life. And I had him like in the middle of lunch, so like we'd go to writing, and then we'd like come back after lunch. So after lunch I came back one day, and he had like a Perry the Platypus lunchbox. Keep in mind, this guy's 35 years old. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so I noticed he would be like really touchy around. Okay, so one day he's like at my table doing my free writing, which is like what we do every day, and he, oh my gosh, this is so weird. So he like, I'll explain. I'll get up and I'll show you. So I'm like doing my free writing, and then this would be like me, like I'm sitting down in my chair, and there'd be like a bunch of room, but he'd like come up against my chair and like rub up against my chair when he'd walk past me. Like literally he was like on top of me. I'm not kidding. He kept touching me, and it was freaking me out, and he kept just going like, and like, okay, I hate when teachers do this. And he would always do the thing where he like bends down and his butt was in my face. It was really annoying. But so whenever he'd come by me, he'd always like I'd push in my chair as close as possible, but he would still he would like touch my chair. It was really gross. It was disgusting. I didn't want him to do it. I like literally would look at him, I was like, why are you doing this? Like, this is so, it was so uncomfortable. And so it was disgusting. So okay, so I'm in focus. Okay, yeah, so okay, so there was probably like 40 people in my class. So 40, sorry if that sounded like I stuttered. So there was like maybe like 8 tables, like 8 different tables, and then it was like a 5 kids. So yeah, I had to do the math, sorry. So there was like 8 tables, but for some reason he'd always have his little teapot, and he'd come by me and my friend's table. I don't know why. It was really creepy. So he'd come by my table all the time, and so, like I was saying, so we'd be doing our free writing, and he would just like, my chair would be as close as to the table as it could be, but he would like grind, like literally grind himself like onto my chair, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So I told my teacher, like, this guy's really weird, and he's like rubbing up against my chair, like my chair. Like, I swear it was only mine, I'm not even kidding. And so she was like, she's like, oh, like, don't take it personal, like, you know, it's fine, nothing. I'm like, no, like, I don't think you understand. He's literally, like, rubbing up on top of me, like, no, she didn't care. She literally didn't care. So then, like, he, the next day in class, he'd, like, come by me, and he'd literally touch me. Like, he'd come up from, I'd be, like, just writing, like I said, and he'd come from behind me, and he'd, like, grab onto my shoulders, and he would be like, do you need help with anything? And he would just, like, look at me, and I'm like, no, I would have raised my hand if I needed help. That's the point of raising your hand. And, he was, like, he told us to come look at his YouTube channel, and he's, like, this 35-year-old. He sits in his mom's basement, so he's single. He lives in his mom's basement, in her basement, and he just, like, films videos. He's got the whole, like, weird thing, and he was the weirdest guy I've ever met, I swear, in my life. So, okay, so he keeps, I swear, he's touching me, and it was freaking me out. I told the teacher. She did nothing, because my school sucked, and my school literally they don't care about anything. They suck. So, anyways, I have 2 English teachers, like I said, like, they both taught, because it was a really big class that were combined, so I told the other one. And then, like, 2 days later, the principal walks into our English class, and he grabs the guy's teapot that he brought. He comes and grabs his teapot, and he grabs his, like, his little Perry the Platypus, lunchbox, and, the principal walks out, and then the teacher goes, she went to the class, and she's like, class, I just wanted to let you know that Mr., I'm not going to say his name, because he might come and kill me. I mean, he's still out there. Mr. Blank is not going to be coming here anymore because he didn't get along with the teachers. So we had to let him go. That's, like, not the truth. I talked to the other teacher, and I asked her, like, what was the real reason, and she's like, people were complaining just like you were saying. He was literally touching people. Like, he was touching people, but they just wanted to play it off because my school was all like, oh, like, they need to be, my school thinks that they need to be perfect, and, like, that they're better than everyone, so they don't want that getting out that this freaking creepy teacher is, like, touching students. No, not gonna. So she literally put it out there. She was just like, oh yeah, he's just like he's just, oh my god, I'm like losing my thoughts. She's like, he's just she was like, he's just going to, she was like, he just didn't get along with he just didn't get along with me and Mrs., the other teacher's name. So we had to, like, let him go because he was, like, arguing a lot. But then I went up to her and I was like, to the one that, not the first one, but the second one. I was like, why did he get, like, fired or whatever? And she's like, because he was, like, touching students and stuff. It was disgusting. I'm like, oh, so you, like, apparently, so she listened to me. So technically I got this guy, like, fired because he's no longer allowed on, like, school campus, or, like, they will call the police. So technically I got this teacher fired. So we got a teacher fired. Student teacher fired. Because, yeah, he was touching me, and I'm just glad they did something, because this guy was the creepiest guy. I swear, he freaked everyone out. So, oh my god. And I have, like, plenty more stories to tell. So let me know if you want me to do any more stories, because I have, like, a million. So, yeah. That's it for this video. So thank you for watching. Subscribe. Yeah. My camera sucks at focusing. Focus. Okay, bye.